Hello everyone, Tactical Itch here, and welcome back to another Bashiva DLC battle. Today we're once again joined by Human Boy Yes Yes as a Nurgle army here. Yes, some of you might have already seen part of this battle highlighted by Human Boy Yes Yes with a game-breaking bug. And today we're showing the rest of the battle here with us playing as Tiger Warriors Grand Cathay. So yeah, Tiger Warriors in the front line there with their anti-infantry dual axes, with a couple peasant long spears flanking them and more peasant archers behind them. Further back, Iron Claw warriors and some peasant long spears. Hopefully these elite Iron Claw Tiger warriors can hold back the enemy monsters with their anti-large and elite melee stats, and of course their glorious hairstyle. The rest of the funds all goes into our single entities here. We have nothing left for mobility because we got something very expensive. Not the Tiger Warrior, so why? He's quite cheap actually. An anti-large fighter hopefully can deal with the enemy monsters with some buffs on himself, as well as a claw speaker with an Earthblood Awakening of the Wood and the Mantra of Invigoration, basically coming in with some healing spams. They are gonna be supporting Satan the Watcher, already aura farming right in the middle of his army, staring down at his enemies. There are no mobility because, well, our core of army with all the Iron Claw Tiger Warriors and Satan the Watcher himself is very expensive, so we don't have the budget. On the other side, for Human Boy's Nurgle army, a front line of light infantry Pestigors, Marauders of Nurgle with great weapons, Frolickers Bubonic, backed up by a contingent of monsters, a Battle Trolls plus 2 anti-infantry bonus Plague Ogres, or Plogers in short, backed up by 2 more Plague Bears of Nurgle, acting as a bit of a sturdy infantry support for those rather fragile monsters. Battle Trolls surrounding Tamurkhan, the Megalord himself, a very good anti-character fighter here, especially with Feast of Megalord to deny death once per battle, keeping himself alive when he's supposed to go down, and on top of that, bring down enemy characters around him. There's also Noxbringer to erode enemy ammo and bomb out all their missile units, so my peasant archers will be in quite a bit of trouble, supported by Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle with, of course, Fleshy Abundance. That's it for the army builds. Now let's get the battles going. Battle begins and Satan immediately takes aim at the Nurgle formation, getting a chunk of health off that Noxbringer there. Some pretty good sniping, and the Noxbringer immediately fires back, not really hitting my peasant archers, but the vortex effect, AoE damage still barely touches the peasant archers, hitting them with that contact effect, draining a bit of their ammo away. Satan continues to fire. I'll try to move my peasant archers back, but immediately comes in another volley from that Noxbringer, and because the vortex landed right behind the peasant archers, they just walk straight into the damage, and yeah, taking a lot more damage than they should have. Also missing out a little bit of that window for firing because, well, the Pestigors are just marching close now and they were just too busy switching up their formations. I'll be throwing in those Tiger Warriors into the front line, but they got immediately annihilated as the Plogers rushes in. Even without the Plogers charging in, it seems like the Pestigors are doing some really good damage into the Tiger Warriors, despite them having some decentish melee stats. Very melee defense versus the 29 melee attack of the Pestigors, but I guess the Primal Fury and the charge bonus really do help here, as the Tiger Warriors just got absolutely mopped by those Ploger follow-up charges. Satan the Watcher doing some good work against Noxbringer, but Noxbringer very efficiently destroying my peasant archers, so eliminating my firepower. I'm forced to throw in the Iron Claw Tiger Warriors in reserve early into the fight. As my Tiger Warriors on the sides, the 2 units are collapsing. The one in the middle is doing a lot better, not needing to face the charge of the Pestigors and Plogers, cleaning up those Frolickers Bubonic, but even then, their leadership is teetering on the edge of routing because of the Bio Trolls contact effect at Stomach Acid, -8 leadership, and they are on the verge of routing. Plague Bearers saturating in as well, and these Tiger Warriors, despite having half health left, are forced to run away. A shame on them for sure. Obviously, the leadership effects, the fear trait, and also the stomach acid help push them over the edge, but still, they could have done a lot more with that much HP left in the fight. It's a little bit of an awakening of the woods, trying to blow up some of the light infantry and also the demonic infantry of Nurgle, as the Ironclaw Tiger Warriors are doing really well here, grinding down monsters and infantry alike. The Pestigors are almost done for, and also the Plogers are taking a lot of damage. However, these Tiger Warriors on the right are not doing too hot, as the Pestigors and Plogers just have the great combination of bodies and anti-infantry bonus, and they are taking a lot of damage. The Peasant Long Spears here who follow the Tiger Warriors into the fray have taken quite a bit of damage over time. They are also breaking as Tamurkhan, the Plague Bearers, and the Baltros are just too much for them. Hopefully the Baltros will be seen off as their leadership is dropping. But yeah, things are not looking too hard for me in terms of infantry formations there. The Peasant Archers came back and start firing into the enemy targets here, even terror routing the Baltros with a little bit of a missile attack leadership damage as well. Now, Seitang is almost done with the Noxbringer, however, the Noxbringer is also almost done with my archers, so there is only so much time for my archers left to continue firing. As the Baltros and Plogers are pushing through the infantry front line there, the Ironclaw Tiger Warriors did a lot of work there. Unfortunately, the regular Tiger Warriors routing so early means they have a lot more weight to carry on their backs, and, well, they just don't have what it takes to turn this one around for the right flank. Some Tiger Warriors have routed and came back, trying to pin down the Baltros and did some okay damage. But here comes the Plogers, who had a flashy abundance as well, getting those heals with quite a few models remaining. And these Tiger Warriors are gonna be in big trouble. In the front line though, my character is Tiger Warrior Sawai, and Claw Speaker 2v1ing the Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lot, is doing some really good damage. However, the Plague Bearers are nearby, saturating in and just surrounding my characters, giving Tamurkhan a much better engagement in the vicinity. So more Awakening of the Woods, I'm trying to just blast them away, as I don't have a lot of good targets to heal. I dropped in some Earthblood and also Mantra of Invigoration earlier to try and heal up and keep my units in the fight here. But even pushing these Ironclaw Tiger Warriors close to their healing cap, that is still not enough to save them from their demise, as they are routed by the relentless grind of the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. They are routed and will be seen off by the Plogers, but they have done a lot of work, earned back their value and then some more. However, I'm down to pretty much just the single entities and some tattered returning units. My archers are no more, the monsters of Nurgle are chasing them away, and yeah, it's pretty much just these Peasant Long Spears. The Tiger Warrior Sawai is duking out against Tamurkhan here, but he is completely surrounded. Theoretically, his anti-large would be great. Oh, here comes a Mantra of Invigoration, trying to keep that Tiger Warrior Sawai in the fight with healing, but he has been routed. Tamurkhan is gonna see him off. Not too far away. Seitang the Watcher surrounded by infantry, but he does have some explosive abilities to try and do some damage against them. Moving over towards the Peasant Long Spears as well, trying to get some infantry support, and perhaps if he get a couple shots at Tamurkhan, he can snipe him out. We shall see. Claw Speaker of Life versus Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. He doesn't have a lot of armor piercing though, so a lot of that damage is mitigated by the heavy armor of the Nurgle Sorcerer. Another shot into Tamurkhan here, and Tamurkhan is taking a chunk of damage. I need a couple more shots to finish him at least, and we'll see if that's gonna happen here, because the Tiger Warrior Sawai is going down. Another shot into Tamurkhan, and he is so close to death. He's away from my character as well, so if he goes down now, he probably can't proc the face of the Maggot Lord. We shall see, but he's closing in the distance. Another shot, barely staying alive with 100 HP left, and the Tiger Warrior Sawai came back, and Tamurkhan caught up. If he goes down now, then he will trigger the Feast of the Megalord and stay in the fight. However, the Tiger Warrior Sawai just have to do as much damage as possible, because he's gonna go down anyways, and the Tamurkhan goes down, but Feast of Megalord has proc, giving him the HP to stand back up for another round of combat. Damn. Now back to my remaining single entities here. Right in the middle here, another Awakening of the Woods, trying to thin out the enemy infantry blob, but there are just so many infantry in the fight. And more Plogers coming back as well. A flashy abundance onto Tamurkhan, further pumping up his HP. He is so low, so close to death, but Nurgle's favorite son with the damage resistance and flashy abundance combined means I don't have what it takes to really burst him down in the next few seconds. He's coming in though. He is coming back for another round, trying to take down my massive construct. Now he has 3,500 HP, and he is coming in for a charge. There's still a lot of infantry and monster support for him, and it seems like Nurgle is gonna have this in the back. And here comes Tamurkhan, bumping into Seitang the Watcher, and dies. I don't know why he did, but seems like he rammed his face into the ankles of Seitang and just instant death when he still had 3,500 HP. Despite not having any effects of execution or whatsoever, he just freaking dies. I have no idea what happened. Human Boy had no idea what happened, and we watched this replays multiple times on our own, and yeah, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, for some reason, Tamurkhan just died after coming back with a Feast of the Maggot Lord and a Fleshy Abundance heal. And yeah, he just went down like that. Like he tripped over a game-breaking bug or some shit. I have no idea what happened, but yeah, when you think about it, Tamurkhan himself is a bug. So it's only fair, right? No, it's not. But anyways, here's Satan the Watcher just grinding against the Plague Ogres and all the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, and with the monstrous infantry surrounding him and grinding down his health, he just doesn't have what it takes to bring this one back. He doesn't have any great AoE damage other than his explosive ability, the Giant Leap. And while he does have anti-large in his missiles, he doesn't have any anti-large bonus in his melee attacks. Plus his armor piercing is mostly wasted on all these unarmored monsters and infantry, so yeah, this is just not a great engagement for him, with more Bile Trolls piling into the fray, completely surrounding him with armor piercing attacks. He does have one last ability, a multi-shot against a monster unit far away, the Plogers, who are surrounding and beating up the Claw Speaker. It did some good damage to the Plogers, but just not enough to save the Claw Speaker. Both units routed together, and that means while Nurgle still have an overwhelming force of monsters and infantry and a hero to keep the leadership intact, I had a Satan who is slowly getting grind down. So yeah, I threw in the towel, giving victory to Human Boy's Nurgle. GG to Human Boy, yes, and a shout out to him for joining me in this DLC battle. Verdict on the Tiger Warriors: the regular ones are pretty meh because they're so fragile, so easy to just die. Of course, they're more of a flanking infantry, so I guess a frontal engagement is just never a good thing for them. But even then, the Pestigors, despite not being anti-infantry, still did substantial damage to these Tiger Warriors. The middle ones did a lot better and managed to earn back their worth because they were just fighting Frolickers with Bonic, but still, I would say these regular Tiger Warriors are a little bit disappointing, but the Iron Claw ones, though, they are really good. Managed to hang on and fight against a combination of monsters and infantry for a substantial period of time, and on top of that, these Iron Claw Warriors were able to grab their value back and then some, despite against an unfavorable engagement, being poisoned and all that. The rest of the army didn't really do that much outside of Satan the Watcher himself, nuking that Noxbringer and also whittling down Tamurkhan, and of course, for some reason, bumping into Tamurkhan and triggering the bug and knock him out. So it's something, I guess. But yeah. A very strong performance from the Nurgle army here, with a combination of monsters and infantry absolutely dumpstering my poor Tiger Warriors, as they are very glass cannon. Yeah, so lesson learned, never try to use Tiger Warriors in a frontal engagement, I guess. And the Bile Trolls did okay, and more importantly, they just keep healing and staying in the fight, while the rest of the army kind of just did their job here. Marauders and Pesticles just grinding down enemy infantry and especially taking down my Tiger Warriors and Tamurkhan there. Dueling my two characters, bringing them down, though unfortunately the bug knocked him out quite early before he was able to take down Satan himself. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoy this multiplayer battle and a little bit of a funny bug in the end. If you want to see more Total War Warhammer multiplayer content, be sure to hit a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.